everyone. This is Melissa. I go by Stitching Liz here on YouTube and also on Instagram. On Instagram is probably where you found me over the last few years because I haven't made a video in a few years. And I've been missing you guys, but I've been watching Flosstube and I've been keeping up with all my Flosstube friends, so it's been good to see you. I've also been stitching over the last several years. I haven't been missing out on that either. And I've really enjoyed my stitching. The reason I'm making a video today is because I wanted to share with you an idea I have about a little challenge for March that is something that I think is simple, and what I needed for me is something simple that works with my schedule. I don't get to stitch a lot during the week. My schedule just doesn't permit it. So most of my stitching happens on the weekends, and I try and give it a lot of time then. The other thing that's been happening for me is that I have several whips that are just languishing. They've been around for about 7 years, and at least most of them have been around for about 7 years. And they've just been sitting there, not gathering dust because they're in bags, but feeling pretty forlorn, I'm sure, because they're not getting any love. So I want to try and rectify this. I don't want to have these whips sitting around. So I want to decide if I want to continue working on them and really push them to finishes, or if I don't really love them anymore because they're no longer my style, or I really don't enjoy working on them, and I want to UFO them, make them an unfinished object. So I have a few whips here that I've decided are major whips for me. And what I've decided to call this idea is Major Whips March. And the plan is that I will choose 4 of those whips that feel major to me. And your major whips may be totally different than my major whips. Things that make it major for me might be that it's a little bit bigger than something that I usually work on, or it's a little more complicated in the technique. I've noticed that things that have been around for a long time are not always my style anymore. And so sometimes that makes it a major whip because it's a major mental hurdle to work on it. So I'm going to choose 4 out of the ones that I have selected to work on in March, 1 per weekend. And my only goal for this is to see what kind of progress I can make and how I feel about that whip in the end. And if I want to keep it in my pile, or if I want to let it go and say goodbye to the whip. So I'd like to show you my choices for the ones I'm deciding between. And you could even make a decision wheel of your major whips and choose 4. You could do it once per week. You could do it all at the beginning of March. But I'm probably going to, for myself, choose the ones I feel called to. That's something that I've noticed about myself as I've developed my stitching style, is that it's really important for me to feel in the mood to stitch on something. So I will probably, out of these whips that I'm going to show you, choose what I'm in the mood for that weekend to stitch on. So let me start by showing you the first one. This is a Bothy Threads kit. It's the only Bothy Thread kit I ever bought. It's the silhouette of Beauty and the Beast, and it's all black except for 2 touches of red metallic. There's like a heart here and a rose here. And it came with the fabric and the thread and everything. And it looks like this now on where I am. So you can see I did the rose and I've started the silhouette. There's a couple things about this that make it a little challenging to me. One is that you have to use 3 threads at once, and I really prefer the loop start, so it's a little bit of a bummer to me to have to not use the loop start. I know I could change it, but I think at this point you would definitely notice the coverage difference. The other thing that you'll notice is that this isn't a Q-snap, and I've noticed about myself that I am no longer really a fan of Q-snaps. I much prefer hoops. If I move a project to a hoop, I enjoy working on it a lot more. So that's, if I work on this for Major Whips March, that would be one of the first things I do is switch it to a hoop and then see how I feel about working on it. So that's Beauty and the Beast. The next one is called Awake My Soul by La Di Da. And this is a beautiful piece. The reason this is major to me is because it is a much larger size than I usually work on. And I know some people work on gigantic full coverage pieces, but this is large for me. So it's beautiful, but it's major to me. And this is where I am so far. So I have a flower started and the urn that the flower is potted in. And you can see again, this isn't a Q-snap. So I am very curious how I will feel about this project when I move it to a hoop, because I do think it's beautiful. I love the sentiment, and I think I might really enjoy working on this one. So this one's been sitting around for a while, but I think if I got it back out and I adjusted a few things, I might really like working on it. The next thing is the Magical Creatures calendar by Clouds Factory. This is the whole calendar. I am actually up to November. I have done everything else all the way up to November, and I need to do December and I think the border here. So this is a major whip, but there's not really a whole lot left on the whip for me, and that's enticing because I could be working toward a finish. So this is what it looks like. Sorry for all the wrinkles. It's very wrinkly. It's because it's been sitting in a bag for years. And you can see I'm down at the bottom of November. So this is, the size of this makes it major. I've done a few adjustments with colors and added some things to this one. I've worked on this one for many years, but I haven't worked on it in a lot of years. There are quite a lot of fiddly little things in each section. And that makes it a little bit of a hurdle because I don't like fiddly little things very much, at least not anymore. So it feels like a major mental hurdle to work on this one. I also know that there is a little bit of a mistake in the counting in the border over here somewhere that I'm going to have to accommodate for, but I don't know if I can remember what I did. So that makes it a little bit difficult too. But that's the Magical Creatures calendar. The next one is Ann Powell by Pineberry Lane. And this is obviously a sampler. This is really my only traditional reproduction sampler that I've ever tried to work on, and it's the only one in my collection so far. I think it's really cute. Let me show you what it looks like right now. You can see it's in a Q-snap. That's a check mark against it. I also do not love this fabric. This fabric splits on me when I use it. I'm an Aida stitcher, and I can't stand it if my needle splits the boxes of the threads. and this one gets split a little bit. It's also very stiff, so that's what makes it a little less fun to work on. The other thing is that I started in the middle. I'm a middle starter traditionally, but I'm having trouble deciding now that I've got the middle done, whether to go up or down, and it just feels huge to me. I know it's not a really big sampler, but it feels big. So I'm having trouble with this one. I'm not loving this one as much as I wished I did. So that makes it major to me. I don't have a picture of the next one, but you'll get a sense of what it is just by based on my, where I'm at with it. This is the Downton Abbey character alphabet by Fangirl Stitches. I don't know for sure if she was on Etsy, and I don't know for sure if she still exists, but it goes one character per letter. The letters are done in that satin DMC. I don't even know if they make that anymore. I hope I don't run out, because if they do and they don't make it, that could be a problem. But it's one character. The name of the character is backstitched next to it with the letter. And oh, you want to see my cat? This is my cat Puppy. Say hi, Puppy. So this is major because it's 26 characters, 26 letters. Also been working on it on a Q-snap. I think with this one, it would be fun. I like the show Downton Abbey. So I have this idea that I would rewatch the show and stitch on it while I do that. And that makes it seem fun. I also really enjoy working on these characters. I know they're not, realistic or anything. They're very cartoonish, but I really enjoy working on them. And to be honest, I really even like the satin thread from DMC. So there's nothing about this one that makes it totally unappealing. It's just something that's been sitting around for a long time. So I would like to get back to it and give it a try and maybe push it towards a finish at some point. The next one is called La Scapliata. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's this one right here. This woman's face. It was original artwork by Da Vinci. And this was charted by Maria Diaz in this book, Ultimate Cross Stitch Projects. This has been a major challenge for me. The chart ran across 2 pages in the book. And it is big. It is not full coverage traditionally, but it is more like full coverage than most things I work on. This is where I'm at with it. You can see I started in the middle, and then I was having trouble figuring out how to grow the face. And I counted up to the top and started working on the top because I thought that would be easier. Now, of course, I'm afraid they're not going to meet up properly. But I find this one really difficult to work on. Like wanting to cry, difficult to work on. But it's beautiful to me, and I don't feel ready to give up on it. I want to try some full coverage techniques to see if I like it better. I also want to take it out of the Q-snap to see if that helps too. I want to give this one another try. It's so pretty. So this is more than major. This is like a mighty major whip for me. And then the last one I'm considering for Major Whips March is Gather Ye Tulips by Heartstring Samplery. And this one I haven't gotten very far on. It's a lot of dense stitching with the deer and the lady's dress. This one is in a hoop. And I believe it goes like this, with the deer's legs out like this. So you can see I've got working on the deer. I think when I started this, I had very little experience in stitching, and I think I would do a lot better with it now and enjoy it more. So this is one that the size makes it major, the challenge of it in my mind makes it major. But I think I might enjoy this one more now than I used to. So that's Gather You Tulips. And those are all of the whips that I am considering for Major Whips March. Again, I think I will go with what calls to me on the weekend that I'm about to work on it. So I hope you will join me for Major Whips March if it's something that interests you and appeals to you. I decided that we could use the hashtag Major Whips March, MAJORWIPSMARCH, and tag it on Instagram if you're going to be doing it so I can see your progress. And I hope you have fun with your stitching. It's been so great spending a little more time with you. I hope I get to spend more time with you again in the future. I would love to see you. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.